I have so many pieces of paper here because there's so much data, and I know it's like nothing that I say will convince you of the logic of this because you already know that everything I'm saying is correct. You know that there's a market failure. You know that funding childcare is a good investment. You know that we're going to see mass closures of daycares if you zero out this program, if you kill this program and do not fund childcare counts. We've already lost more than half of our childcare businesses in the last 15 years. That's stunning, from 2007 to now, so a little more than 15 years. So continuing to do nothing, which is what's going to happen if you let childcare counts close, is just going to accelerate that decline. And when I picked up my son late again today, the daycare provider she said, okay, I'll be watching. You're starting at 6, right? I said, no, you got to stay up until probably 10 or 11. But these daycare providers are watching because they know it means the difference between their businesses continuing and not. They know it means the difference between them being able to have $13 an hour or $15 an hour going back down to 10 or 11. And we know that 2/3 of childcare providers, based on the surveys that they filled out, hundreds and hundreds of responses with detailed comments, 2/3 of people said, hey, if my wages go down again, I'm going to have to leave this field. 4 out of 5 early childhood educators, the people who have degrees, college degrees, BAs and AAs, don't work in the field because they can't afford it. What a loss to our children. This is not a job that anyone can do. The only person on this dais who can do that job is sitting next to me. She did it. Not one of us could survive a day with 5 toddlers or 10 toddlers. I mean, I don't know, maybe somebody else could, but I'd love to see that. This is hard work. And you can't just have anybody from the street doing it. And yet you can make more as a high school student working at Culver's. So I don't know how to convince you that this is like the most important vote you're going to take, because we talk about so many important things. And obviously this is personal to me, and I hate when I get emotional because it feels unprofessional. But what's unprofessional is ignoring the needs of the most vulnerable and important members of our society, which is our kids. And doing so at a time when we have $7 billion that you are not spending. I mean, what is this money for? What are we saving it for if we're going to let our entire childcare infrastructure close? What are we going to do with that money that's more valuable than setting young Wisconsinites, our baby badgers, up for success for the rest of their lives? Spend this money now. Spend double, spend triple. We could spend so much more. This is just stabilizing the industry. This is stopping the bleeding, stopping it from collapsing entirely. Let's add more and actually invest, and then we can defund in 18 years or 15 years, wherever, we can defund everything else that we're paying through the nose for. I don't know, let's give it a try. We've got the money. We're a forced birth state. We've said no paid family leave, healthcare ends after 2 months, no childcare slots. Is this the legacy that you want? This is the cut you want to make just to end this program? If we had a $7 billion deficit, this would still be the last thing that you should cut. And if you do, I'm going to make it my mission to make sure that it is the last thing that any of you ever get to cut. And I will find someone to replace you who will invest in our kids.
Seeing no one else in the queue, we are on motion 106, moved by Senator Johnson, seconded by Senator Royce. Clerk can call the roll.
Representative Bourne.
No.
Katzma.
No.
Rodriguez. No. Kurtz.
No.
Dahlman. No. Goyke. McGuire.
Yes.
Senator Marklein.
No.
Strobel. Belskowski. Ballweg. Teston. Winberger. Johnson. Royce.
Motion fails 4 to 11.